We are
Oh,
so
wait,
excited. Oh,
hold
sorry.
on, not on.
Okay, it says live on YouTube on the thing.
Okay, you are live now.
So excited. I always start that way? I should go look back and see if I always start that way. This is a story that I've been thinking about for so long because it's a bit of a dilemma for me. And I don't know how many of you out there it's a dilemma for as well. But whenever I do the laundry, almost every single time when I sort socks, never, like an overwhelming, exciting task, one of them is missing. So for years, I've been trying to figure out, where do they go? Where do those socks disappear to? So I've taken a lead from a very famous author named Carl Sandburg, who wrote a story, believe it or not, about pretzels. And it was called The Five Magnificent Pretzels. And the story premise was that, just briefly, somebody walking down the street saw five pretzels. And he had five children. So he wanted to buy something for each of his kids. He had 5 cents. So while he was contemplating, thinking about what he was going to do, he had no idea that the pretzels had a mind of their own. And they knew what they wanted to do. So, without even telling you that story, because I'll tell it another time how delicious that story is, I'm going to tell you a story about where the socks go and how to maintain them at home. So, first of all, we have to understand that socks only go where we go, right? So, socks never walk down the street without us. So, but they do go somewhere. So, I want you to think about that part too. So, for example, this morning when I took a walk, I put on socks and took them for a walk. Now, socks don't have eyes. Potatoes have eyes, but not socks. So, what were they thinking as they're walking down the street, my socks? No idea. But I do know when I come back and do the laundry, we have a pretty good chance that one of those socks might maybe want to go back to where we were walking and see for itself. But I also know that socks come as two. We call them a pair of socks. So why would they want to separate all of a sudden and go off on their own? Well, alone time is kind of good. But chances are when you lose a sock in the laundry, it's not going to come back. What to say about that missing sock? So, the very first thing we're going to do, even before we start, is to give you a substantial way to always make sure that your socks don't go missing. That is to make it into a puppet. So, I'm going to show you a picture from a book that I put together because it's the easiest way to make a sock puppet. And hold it up, and you could take a screenshot maybe if you want. And that is what it looks like. You can't see me anymore. Okay, it's a sock. What do you need to make that sock puppet? You need a sock. And if you want to wear your socks again, which you should, especially because winter might be coming, or you just like might have socks on, um, we don't glue on these socks. We use some very easy material. Okay, so that's it. That's your material. All you need is a sock. And if you want to make a sock puppet that stays with you for a long time, then I give you total and complete permission to glue it. So here's how it goes. First thing you're going to need, as I said, is a pair of socks. So I'm going to take these handy dandy, ever present. They used to be called work socks. So my grandpa, long, long time ago, almost 100 years actually, I think, maybe 90, he made puppets out of these socks. And that would have been cool for me to know, except I didn't. I've been making puppets for a long time. And then someone told me that my grandpa used to make these monkey puppets. Remember? Maybe some of you have seen them, but they're usually brown and red. So this is the purple one. First thing we need to do is to put our hand inside. So either hand will do. That's what's cool about these socks. Is a multi-puppeted sock. So simplest way to do it is to take your hand, whichever one works for you. If you're a lefty, put it on your lefty hand because then you'll have more room. I am a righty and I'm going to use this hand to work with. So I have put said sock puppet on this hand, my left hand. Then I'm going to take this rubber band and just put it over here. And why do I do that? Why do I do that, sock? Tell us. That's so my mouth will always be available, right? Mouth will always be available. So easy to do it that way. And what else? Remember what I said in the beginning? Was not that very long ago. Take the rubber band off. You can put your sock back on. Go marching out the door. Take your sock on its own adventure. Very cool. Now, just so your socks are not separate and always stay together, Mr. Sock likes that. What you're going to do with the other sock is you're going to easy peasy. You want to help me out? I know it's kind of disgusting to put your partner, your pair, other sock in your mouth, but that would help me out a lot. Okay. You can hold it here for a while. But see what it already does? You already got the idea, right? This makes great ears, but you know, and I know, ears do not go in the puppet's mouth. What you're going to do is put it up here. Now, they're different, and that's okay. One ear is different than the other. Is that a problem for you? No, he likes it, but we want it to stay there. So this is the other thing I'm going to teach you to do. Take that rubber band that you've already used, put your sock underneath the rubber band, and then you take this one here and that one there, and your ears stay put. See, he would be easy to identify, right? You have your sock puppet lineup. And could you tell me something about the missing sock, ma'am? Oh, yes. The ears were different. They're so sad. Or happy, because I can always find him. Is it his left ear or his right ear that has a stripe? Oh, he is your left striped eared sock puppet. Fantastic. I love that. You look very charming. Okay. So there he is. Now, if you would like him to be more permanent, these are some of the things you can do. So I'm going to take him off. You mind? You do. Well, tough toes. That's great. You can say that to a sock. Tough toes sock. So I'm going to ask him first to remove his ears. Ow! Really? You're a sock. And then I'm going to take off the rubber band. And then I'm going to take it off my hand. Look. Perfect. Hand's still good. I'm going to put it in my sock box. Take the rubber band, put it like that. Now, if you want a way to make him permanent, I'm going to ask you to find a piece of folded up over cardboard like that. Don't take anything that has someone's work in it, please. And then just cut. So leaving the fold absolutely intact. And you'll see why. Now that's a little big. See? A little big. So I'm going to make it a little thinner. Just a little bit thinner. And then I'm going to turn it this way. Even like that. So basically what, did you miss me? What you're doing is you are making a little card. And then we're going to round it out because the inside of our puppet's mouth needs to be rounded. Okay. Actually, what it looks like is a great big tongue. And we didn't talk about the puppet's tongue. So I'm not going to worry about it for now. But here he goes. Here he is. Like that. Open them, shut them. Now, open it up real wide. This time, we're going to go for another sock. What do you think? I got it. This one's cool. Reach inside my laundry basket. Take out this sock. Now, this is kind of tricky, but you can do it. Open it up. Keep your hand on it. And stick your hand in another sock. Now, of course, you know, sticking your hand in a dirty sock is not a great idea. So let me show you what I'm doing. Sorry. I'm going to put my hand in as best I can. And then I'm going to stay all the way in the inside. Oh. So what we've got here is a little bit. Push it, push it, push it, push it. Excellent. And then we're going to lower it down. And take my thumb. Here's the fold. It's right here. You can't see it, but when you make this puppet, you can feel it. And what it does for your puppet is a couple of things. You don't even need the rubber band anymore because you've got a nice hard surface. Look at him. Pretty cute, huh? He could be a zebra, except for, yeah, he's a variated zebra. I just made that word up. Are you a variated zebra? Look lovely. He's got a nice black nose. I love that. And rub nosies. Cool beans. Okay, so you can do something there. Maybe you have buttons. Sew them on. Glue them on because this sock. Here's the truth. He's going on an adventure, and but he doesn't have ears that match. Do you want ears? You don't care? Oh, here's short ears. Here's what makes really cool is short ears too. A summer sock. I call them summer socks. Some people wear them all year long, but they're just pads. So ridiculous. I love him. That's how ridiculous he is. So I'm going to take him off. I'm going to put him back in the laundry. And oh, it's just my so mismatched sock guy. And for this dude, I think that I would actually either put another rubber bander on him here so that he has a little bit of magic up there. Now, maybe his ears kind of flow over his floppy ears over his head. We don't know yet. But this is one way. And then, of course, if you really want it nice and tight to your hand, put that rubber band on. And then you could hang all sorts of things. You could even give him a leash. Great. All right. So we're going to put not the rubber band on the laundry, but take him out here. So fun in the laundromat. I took them apart because I did not use glue. Okay, now I have a special character for you to meet. And I made him a long time ago, and I've had him around. But first of all, I'm going to remove my laundry basket and lift it and put it over here in my laundry room and take out my good friend. His name is Suds. Now this is one last way to keep your socks together and unfortunately never wear them again. But that's okay. Now, let me show you something else I do for my puppets in case I'm telling you a story and I want to make sure they don't leave. I don't recommend this for yourself. Oh, did he look around at you? He did. Okay, but I hang my puppets up like this. He doesn't mind. So that when I want him, if I'm telling you a story, which I'm going to do in a minute, I would reach down without even looking and he would come up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Suds. Suds is in charge of refereeing all the laundry. He takes care and he tries to keep the socks together. He's kind of like a shepherd boy, except for one thing he's a dog. And there are shepherd dogs, you know what they do. You do? Good. Shepherd dogs make sure that the sheep stay together. They're our guardians. hmm They're very important. Do you think they're at the front of the flock? Shepherd dogs are in the back. So in case a sheep goes to the right or to the left, he'll know. And he rounds them up by moving. It's very cool. hmm So this is my friend Suds because he's in charge of laundry. And that's why he's wearing a referee shirt. And I want you to take a really good, careful look at Suds and how he's made. Yeah. Okay, what do you see? You see a sock? Oh, you want to start at his nose? Okay, here's how it goes. His nose, which looks all shiny and wet like a doggy's nose, is not wet at all. I can attest to that. Yeah. It is made out of the end of a dolly boot. hmm And I bought it specifically to make Suds' nose. I did. He was very happy about that. Now, if you look carefully at Suds, what do you see up here? Yeah, the other sock. That's why it is very important for Suds to make sure all the socks, I said stocks, stay together. And that's why he's the shepherd dog or the sock dog in the laundry basket. So this is how he's made. In the very end of here, do you mind? Suds, you okay with that? Is this stuff. It's called stuffing. And I stuffed the toe of the sock. And he's going to stand on his head for you. So talented. There he goes. So you can see that the shape of Sud's head is like the shape of a foot. Who knew? Oh, I did. So there he is. We're starting kind of backwards. His mouth here is along the seam of the sock. Socks have seams. This one does anyway. And his head, careful, Marilyn. I won't hurt you. Styrofoam ball. Not just a styrofoam ball, but it could be a Nerf ball. That would work just fine, or sponge ball, even a tennis ball. But you got to get your fingers in there somewhere. So I'm not going to turn him inside out for you because it would be very painful. He's got work to do. There's a tube right in here. And in that tube are these two fingers. And would you turn around, please? What are you looking at back there? Yes, I know we're going to draw something in a minute. You're going to do it for me? Cool. There he goes. This thumb, well, this thumb moves like that. This thumb moves his hand. Over here, yep, that's his other two. Excellent work. Good. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the bow. That was a lovely bow. And how does he bow? He bows like that. Puts his hand on his belly. Takes a bow. Why don't you practice? Okay. You do the same. Put your hand on your belly, wherever your belly is. Take a bow. You don't have to stand up to take a bow. That is called a sit-down bow. Thank you so much. Suds and I are going to tell you a story. But first, Suds is going to go into the laundry basket and pick out what sock is going to tell the story. You want a hint so we don't mess up? Is that okay? Okay, here he goes. No, no, not that one. You want me to repeat it? Okay. That was a good pick. Wow. Okay, this is good. Wait do you see what he picked. Now, some socks have a function. Look at that one. Do you see it spangly like that? That is a party sock. Yeah. So we are about to try to solve the mystery of the socks. And it's a mystery. Every one of my friends you wants to know where they go. So I don't know that I'm going to have all the answers. I'm hoping that you have some of your own because some people think that they just go down the drain and we never see them again. Some people think they go for a walk by themselves. Some people think they try and find the places they've been and go back in time. But before we start, my friend Suds is going to draw for you where it all starts. So if you look over my right shoulder, the left of the screen, you will see that I have. Is that hard for you? Yeah, it's hard for me too. Ah, you did it. You are an amazing pooch. It's another thing for a dog. Get your ears out of the way. We don't want to mess up. Okay. So I'm going to show you where we need to start our story. We need to start our story in a lot. Watch this. It's going to make a noise. I hope you don't mind. Bump. It's me putting carefully the laundry basket away so we can get out of its way. What do you see back here? You see a box? Mm-hmm. Well, our friend Suds, that's his name. Can I tell you his name? Suds. I call him Suds because he's in charge. Suds, the super shepherd dog, made this box for you earlier before you got here. Now he's going to make the door. Whoa, Suds, you are quite the hero here. This is a door inside that box. It could be lots of things. Maybe it's a picture frame. Who knows? Maybe, maybe it's a television. No, not a television. Not a computer screen. No, 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 no. This is a story that I tell you out loud. This is the door of the dryer. And if it's the door of the dryer, then we need to make it a handle. There it is. Oh, Suds, you are awesome. Drawing my right hand and you're both. Suds the super dog. Okay, so there it is. What comes out of there? You put them in wet, they come out dry. Now, it's pretty fabulous, eh? So I'm going to take the marker back. You want to sign? I'm sorry. I forgot. He likes to autograph his work. Okay, Suds. You know what? When you autograph it, it'll give it a brand name. This will be Suds's drawing machine. Okay, so you want to you're gonna do calligraphy or just do it, Suds, because we gotta tell our story before everybody falls asleep. So, whoa, Suds! Oh, look at that! Suds made it. Suds, super dog, so cool. This is a story about a sock who went looking. So Suds has introduced you to your character for the day. And I am going to let Suds take a long needed rest while we try to figure out what happened to the missing sock. Once upon a time, it could have been in the morning load or in the evening load, but I'm going to tell you it was at the end of a very drying experience. All the laundry had been carefully put together, careful, because that's what it's about, into the laundry machine. And what do you know? While the socks were being sorted, while the t shirts were being folded, one of those socks hid. When the lights went out in the laundry room, while the lights went out in the laundromat, that sock started on its adventure. And it would like for you to come along. The sock was looking for a party because I'm a party sock. Now I've been spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and I am dizzy, but I'm a party sock and I'm looking for a party. And that's how its day went. Some of the socks were work socks, and some of the socks were fancy Argyle socks, and some of the socks were sports socks, and some of those socks. But this was a party sock. And if you're a party sock, you need to find a party. So off it went to find a party. Now, the best way for a sock to get to a party was to listen. Our sock was a very careful listener. And as it went along, looking, first thing it heard was, that wasn't a party. Mm-mm. The second thing it heard was some music. Could that be a party? So the sock looked inside the window where was sitting a lovely, lovely, lovely group of people dancing, having a really good time. But they were all in pairs. And the sock didn't want to go there. So the sock kept looking. Now, you probably don't know this about socks, but if they're at all athletic, they have been known to climb trees. As long as they had a foot in them. Now, if the sock was at all a dancer, the sock could have danced on its toes. But our sock was not a dancing sock. Our sock was a party sock. But our sock was getting so very tired that the sock needed to sit down. Now, for those of you who are somewhat cynical or suspicious, you might think that socks don't sit. But socks can sit. It usually needs to find a place to sit. But it was getting a little cold. The sock didn't want to sit anywhere. The sock ended up right in front of a fire truck. Sock came out. Sock looked to the right. Sock looked to the left. When the all clear signal came, the sock started to cross the street. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, you know socks don't walk that way. They need to walk that way. But that's really hard if you don't have a foot in you. So the sock did the best it could and walked down the street. And the sock was so very tired. Then the sock saw a window. It was awesome. The sock peeked inside the window. And inside the window, he saw somebody telling a story. So he sat by the edge of the window and he listened. Now, the people that were listening to the story were people that always looked at things. And when they saw outside their window, at first it was kind of weird. There was a sock looking in at them. So they tried to explain to the reader of the story that there was a sock looking in. And the reader of the story, who was one of those wonderful people who also does laundry, who also loses socks, didn't believe it for a minute. What do you mean? Socks don't walk down the street and look in the window. So the reader of the story kept on reading. Pretty soon, the sock, like the listeners, fell sound asleep. The very next morning, when they got up, when they went outside, maybe on their way to school, or maybe to do an errand, or maybe to play, they went to the window ledge where they had seen the sock listening. And this is exactly what they saw. So they took that sock, who had slept a really good time, and they brought the sock into their house. And in that house, do you know what they did with that sock? They put it in the laundry. They put it in the dryer. And when they took that sock out, they made a puppet out of it. And I happen to know for a fact that that puppet is living happily ever after. Is that the truth? Yep. So think about your socks. Think about where they might like to go today. Take them for a walk. Be safe out there. Be careful. Remember, who knows what our socks are thinking about? But they keep us warm and they keep us cozy. And they've been around a really long time in the history of the sock world. I thank you for listening. I will look forward to seeing what you think about where socks go because there's many different directions. Have a good day. Be safe